Your hands together and join me in welcoming Mr. Vikram on stage.
Very good afternoon, and at the outset I'd like to express my gratitude for giving to Toyota Kirloskar Motors this platform to share our views. Moving ahead, and this is, starts with a very obvious thing which everybody's been speaking about. We are seeing climate change happen right before us. Carbon really is the real enemy, and we need to tackle it at scale and at pace and at right now. We don't have time to lose. And looking at this issue in 2015, Toyota Motor Corporation Japan set in place 6 environment challenges. 3 of these are around achieving carbon neutrality by 2050. This includes looking at the whole issue of carbon emissions on a holistic lifestyle perspective, because if you really got to tackle this issue, you've got to look at the entire value chain. And I'd just like to share that our plant here in Karnataka uses 100% renewable energy, and our target for achieving zero carbon from manufacturing globally is 2035, but here in India we'll be achieving that much in advance, and that is something that we are doing, also passing it on to our value chain. If you look at the our national imperatives, we don't have one single only goal. We have multiple goals to achieve as a growing economy which needs to be inclusive and bring development to the masses. Also, we are energy deficient. So whether it is the issue of being a developed country by 2047, that's the aspiration goal that we have, or the energy being self-reliant. Right now, as already mentioned in the morning, we have huge dependence on energy imports, fossil fuel imports, and it's for all of us to see what that can do in terms of vulnerabilities which are open and come to you in terms of geopolitical risks. In addition, manufacturing, of course, is going to play a big, huge role, and we can't achieve all these objectives without, in the usual manner, and without decarbonization. So decarbonization and pollution is an issue that we have to address as we grow in a very meaningful and fast way. And therefore, for us, maximizing the green indigenous energy sources is clearly the way forward. When you look at it in terms of what we're talking about, in the morning also this statistic was shared. If you look at it, India is the 3rd largest carbon emitter, although per capita is low, but that doesn't really matter. And within the entire carbon ecosystem, transportation sector is a very significant contributor. And with economic growth is accompanied a sharp growth in transportation, particularly road transportation, and therefore it's very important for the auto sector to look at this piece and how it can contribute towards achieving this goal, national goal of decarbonization, carbon neutrality by 2070. As far as Toyota is concerned, we believe that technology is only a means to achieving the end. The end really remains carbon neutrality and decarbonization. So given the very diverse set of customer requirements, very diverse set of realities in different markets in terms of unique strengths each market has, the energy mix, the infrastructure readiness, per capita income, consumer acceptance, etc. What is clear is that a multi-technology pathway is the way to go, not only for rapid decarbonization, but also for de-risking from a national perspective. As far as Toyota is concerned, we like to look at the whole issue, not only in terms of reducing carbon emissions on a life cycle basis, but also the issue has to be looked at in parallel with the impact on the economy, as well as consumer acceptance. Remember, consumer acceptance is at the core of any transition, whether it's an energy transition or whether it's an approach to decarbonization. Going ahead, this places a very big challenge before the automotive sector. As you can see, we have multiple green energy opportunities, right from the renewable electricity that we as a country are, have a strength in. 500 gigawatts of renewable energy is the target that we seek to achieve by 2030. Or it's the huge potential that exists from the biofuel space, which is near carbon neutral on a life cycle perspective. And of course, in this entire transition, you cannot forget the fact that you have to reduce the energy use, and therefore that's an important lever for decarbonization, therefore enhancing efficiency. What that means is you need a team of technologies. Yesterday, we won the World Cup. It wouldn't have been possible without the Bumrahs, the Hardik Pandyas, the Samsons. The full team is required. And similarly, if Team India is going to decarbonize, we need all of these green technologies which can link up to the green energy formats. And remember, these green technologies will also meet the very diverse and unique mobility needs of wide spectrum of consumers and will be much more impactful in rapid transition towards cleaner mobility. And when I talk about cleaner mobility, I think one space which is becoming very obvious for India as a low-hanging, really impactful space which is completely indigenous and gives huge multiplier effect to the economy is the space of biofuels. We know that biofuels, because of the fact that they absorb carbon, plants absorb carbon at the stage of growth, and this is therefore on a well-to-wheel or a life cycle perspective, it's carbon neutral. Plus, we've seen already with the E20 program that the government has run, the economic benefits are immense. 1.45 trillion rupees of fossil fuel imports saved, and accompanied by a huge savings in terms of carbon emissions, and most importantly, for inclusive growth. Out of that 1.45 trillion rupees saved, 1.35 trillion rupees has actually gone to the farmers, the rural parts of the country, which again has a multiplier impact, not only in improving the lives of people, but also enabling them to lead a lower carbon lifestyle. And as spoken in the morning, the Benham pledge that's been taken is a clear indication that this is a huge opportunity not only for India but the world. And the fact that we're seeking to grow the biofuels by 4x within 2035 is a clear signal. And I'm very happy that India is a signatory to this. And already it's not only the future, it's the present. Right now, as I speak, we even if we take into account all the ethanol that is needed for E20 program, we still have 700 crore liters of ethanol that's going to be surplus and available. So there is no dearth of either capacity in terms of process or in terms of feedstock available. And this earlier was going to waste. And I'm not even touching upon the 2G possibilities, which is phenomenal in converting parali, which is burnt, into biofuels, both ethanol and CBG. So this is an obvious and very impactful area that we have to look at. To conclude, I would just like to reaffirm the commitment that we have towards fighting carbon emissions. We seek to do this by leaving no one behind, making sure that each one of our consumers has a cleaner technology option to choose from, and that in the manner in we approach this transition, it is aligned to our national goals, particularly in terms of also contributing towards Make in India, because this transition is not going to be successful if it is going to be import dependent in terms of the technologies. With that, I'd like to thank you for your patient hearing. Thanks a lot.